Okay.
So hey Jatin, welcome to the show. For the less known, Jatin is a content creator with over 19,000 followers on LinkedIn. He came around 7 months ago on LinkedIn, and he has ruled the scene ever since. He has been an inspiration to thousands of aspiring creators. So Jatin, for the less known, would you like to introduce yourself?
Dude, first of all, thank you so much. That is just so kind. It's been lovely being on LinkedIn, honestly. I mean, I did not know that you could just be fun on the platform. I think now everybody can do that. Well, hello everyone. I am Jatin. I'm a LinkedIn content creator, and I also happen to have co-founded a company called House of Creators, which is a free tools-oriented company for creators. Every week we do LinkedIn audio events, and we give out a free resource for the creators of India. Essentially, we've curated content for them, so we can help them in their content creation journey, help them monetize content, help them find their niche, and a couple of other things. What I also do apart from just creating content, I consult for a lot of brands. Like I work with Planet Spark, Super Gaming, Hauser, Coho, Tegro, Topmate, Exley, what's the other one? Graphy as well. So a couple of brands that I consult for, and very, very excited to be here to talk about my experience and my journey and share whatever I can with your community to help them out in finding their way.
Thanks a lot, Jatin. It's really great having such an inspiration on the podcast. So I shared this information in the group called Fueler, and they were like, "Whoa, you're having Jatin on the podcast," and they threw in a lot of questions. So I'm going to be asking that as well.
Wow, dude, I love that. If you can also map the name of the person who's asked the question, I'd love to know that too. But otherwise, also it's chill. Whoa, that's exciting. Let's go.
Yeah. So the theme of the podcast is around art. So my definition of art is that art is not just limited to paintings or sculptures. So when you search online, you will get paintings, sculptures, sketches. Art is a lot of things that we don't even think of. Whether you are doing finance, whether you are just sweeping the floor. If you can just add art to it, you will happen to enjoy it. So that's how you can break sort of out of your monotonous life. So I wanted to understand what would you say is your definition of art?
Dude, I'm like a simple like kind of guy. So I'll just give you like my simple definition of art. For me, it's very simple. Anything that you're using your imagination to create, you're using your creativity, your imagination to create, bring it in any sort of form, may it be physical, may it be digital, that's art for me. So of course, sure, you're right, paintings and imagery, and that's why a lot of our arts association, like art gallery, if I will say, you'll only imagine paintings in your head.
Yeah.
Because that's how art has evolved, right? But it's taken into so many forms. So I personally feel that any kind of work, any kind of piece that you create using your imagination and your creativity and bring it to life, I think that's art for me. And I think there's a lot of art in the world. And I also believe that there is no art that is original and pure. I think there's always an inference of an art from one or the other because there's so much data and information we've consumed. So it's only fair to accept that it's an interpretation of something that we're creating. And that's also beautiful, honestly, in my opinion. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, definitely. That's a very great meaning to art. I will ask a lot of people about this question, and sometimes you just go to wondering, and wow, this is a really great question, and they don't even normally think about it. So that's beautiful that you think about it.
Thanks, dude.
So you have been a content creator for around 7 months and an entrepreneur for around 7 months. But before that, you were a working full-time working professional, a community builder, to be exact. How has your journey been so far, and how have you sort of used art in your journey?
Wow. So I think my definition of art is, I think on almost everything that I do is art for me,
Mhm.
right? Now, some of the art is really great. Some of the art is like basic and that's chill. What I would tell you, Ritik, is that right now I'm having a conversation with you, and if I'm able to throw something which I feel that really resonates with you and I get a reaction out of you, for me, I
Mhm.
would think that I have done some sort of artistry today. Now, to tell you about my journey and how that has helped me is like when I was in college, right? I was working with a lot of my friends in running fun stuff in college, like businesses in college. Like we threw a freshers party. So I was the host of the party, but I was
Oh,
also the person who was on the poster of the party on all the passes and all the university banners. So like that, we also did a little bit of marketing there. All was very interested in it. But that's again a community building exercise, right? Bringing people together,
Yeah.
using your tactics to kind of like give a nice experience to people. That was always the cause. Or another thing that we do is, we organize Microsoft training, technology associate program, where Microsoft training was given to the students in summer internship in our university. We handled 29 lakhs, like as kids, cash, dude. There was no
Wow.
GPay, PDN that time, and there was 0 rupee mix up. So, I mean, there are a lot of very cool things that happened when I was in college, and for sure that worked out in shaping me who I am today. But if you really look at it, and to talk about art, I mean, sure, money management is also an art, but I wouldn't consider that as a very solid art for me because I'm a different kind of person, right?
Yeah.
Like Sonia sent me this, and I would say that it is a very artistic pic because it kind of captures my vibe. So I wear all black and then I end up just popping one thing out. So again, that's a very simple taste thing, but that can be artistry as well. So for me, it's very simple, dude. When I was in college, I had a YouTube channel and we were making like videos. So I was editing those videos, right? Not only like we copied, right? Like, I mean, in a way we copied because we saw pretentious movie reviews. We saw Kanan Gill and Viswa Kalyanwith, and a lot of people had been suggesting me go watch it. And when I did, I was like, dude, that is so cool. So we started reviewing songs and we said that, if somebody is going to watch this video, if there are going to be 1,000 viewers of this, then it's the first video we uploaded on YouTube. Then we will make more videos. Dude, we forgot about it. After 2 months, one of our friends who was there in the room, he said that, guys, you've got 3,000 views on it. And we were like, dude, what are you saying? And then, we started creating more of YouTube videos. I think we made around 50 videos. We crossed 2 lakh views on some content went viral. It was really fun. But when I was in the process of doing it, with my friends, I think making the YouTube thumbnails, going to Canva, while that has given me like fabulous results in my life today, but just creating that of how it should look, why, there should be a red color, why there should be like a poppy text, why the text should be less, why there should be a human being's face and there should be like a white border. I still do that. I'm sorry, I'm hung up on that style. But I think that is something that starts of helping your creative muscles in your brain. And I think this is something I would absolutely say. A lot of people think that creative geniuses are born, not made. They're absolutely correct. This thought can be very deterrent and set you off the wrong path. Creativity is something that can absolutely be acquired. And I'll talk about that a little bit. I don't want to like go away from your question. So this is dude art, right? So similarly, if I'm going on stage, and if I am, let's say, throwing something which the audience is able to connect with, I'm able to get a response, and then I'm able to double tap it, right? Then I would consider that art. Like, for example, I was watching this interview by Veerdas with Abish Matthew. I think they call it something like a journey of a joke or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Dude, it's really cool. And Veerdas' episode, I think, came last year, this year, I don't know, but it's really, really cool. I met him in Goa in 2021, and he's a dope ass dude, right? So now I follow him. Now I met him in life, so I have to check his content, and I love it, by the way. So he says that, you have to make a joke. How do you write a joke? And he says that my process is very simple. I think of a funny situation, like uh, there are two people who are having sex, and one of them farts during sex. And now I'm just going to write all the questions, right? On what happens next. What does she say? What do I do? Do we try to cover it up? And the moment he starts answering all these questions, it's a set and it's funny. Now, I was really taken aback by it. And when I wanted to think the same thing, like, oh my God, you're kissing someone and one person ends up burping. And what happens then? Right? And this is again something very, very interesting. Think of a weird scenario. I'm seeing that you're controlling your laughter, but you absolutely want to laugh because it's funny as hell. I know.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful, right? Like he empowered me to create my own art with my own version using his structure. And these things have been very, very effective. And the point that I was making for the Vedas interpretation, the way it stayed back with me, I remember the example is because I did a lot of debates when I was in college. I was a three-time national champion in school before I went to college. So that built my logical, analytical thinking. Just so like I'm just fast at it. I think everybody's really smart and probably they're better than me, but I'm just faster at it. I'm more spontaneous. It doesn't take me as much time to think. Or I can talk really, really fast if I really want, and I don't make a mistake when I don't fumble. So I'm just a little bit too practiced with it. And I think that again helps me create more art when I want to do in a conversation. And that's art of conversation, but we're not talking about that today. So I think that's what I think. I think everything I've done in my life, one way or the other, has helped me. And that's only been because that I've been taking care of myself, my creative muscles and creative side of the brain, because I just like to. I'm that person. And I think anybody can be creative if they, for example, you stay in a house and you live in that house. Like during COVID, creativity was an all-time low, dude. Because you're just staying in the same confined space.
Yeah.
But if you're able to, which you can do now, go out at a place that inspires you. Go at a restaurant or a cafe that, maybe has like a river flowing on the next. Like in Goa, there are places like that. In Gurgaon, they're absolutely amazing places also. Like there's this thing called Roots Cafe, which is really in like a little bit away from Gurgaon. It's very calm and peace. It's all in the green, inner sitting and outer sitting. And these places inspire you. Take that inspiration and then go back home, create, do whatever. But I mean, it's very important to put yourself in different places. Keep on changing that so your brain wants to adapt and your creative muscles can work on and go on. But I think we all create art in every single day. I think that the way I put my bed sheet on my bed every single day in the morning, that's absolutely artistic. But that's for me to think. I hope that answers your question. Sorry for a long answer.
No, it definitely does. The way you put it, and the way you close it, you put your bed sheet on your bed. That's an art. I think hoteliers, especially, practices art on a daily basis, and it sort of sometimes may get boring, but then you put your own style to it, and then it becomes art.
Yeah, absolutely. Your own factor to it, I like to call it. And it's cool, right? It's like everyone's
Yeah.
element.
So, you started you transitioned from a community builder to a creator 7 months ago. What was sort of the thinking that prompted you to become a creator?
So I'd be very honest with you. This is something I think a couple of us are blessed with. So when social media happened and when it happened, Facebook kind of came out. And I'm not the Orkut person. I heard about Orkut from like my cousins and, they were on Orkut. I was like, oh, pink color platform. But I never had like a wall and stuff and all and everything. I just was curious about it. But Facebook was the first social media platform where I made my account on. And I would create content on Facebook left, right, and center. Like if you go to my Facebook profile, I haven't posted this in the last 6-8 years. But if you go back, you'd see, oh my God, he was regular here also. He's talking. So I love to talk. I love to express, in fact. Talking is such a limiting thing to say for myself. I like to express one way or another. So it absolutely helped out when I was creating content there. Then slowly, and Facebook was very school time. Then Instagram came in and all the cool people were just jumping into Instagram and there was like a BBM phase in the middle. And then when I moved to college, I was creating videos on YouTube. And when I was doing that, we were, three of us. And out of three of us, we all got some followers on our Instagram and I got a little bit more followers. And at that time, stories had come on Instagram. So that really fascinated me. It was like, oh my God, I can share everything. I want to share everything. Oh, let's go. So I did all of that. And I was on Instagram for a while. But then I translated into LinkedIn when in 2018 I did my internship at Density Media and they asked me to interview startup founders on camera and and it worked really well in Gurgaon, Okla, Delhi NCR region. Then we went to Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Mumbai, Kerala as well. And we did a pan-India tour in just 2 months of time. I was fabulously happy when I went back to my college and I told everyone what really happened at my internship. Oh, dude, it was a baller time. I'm sorry, it's a little bit fun to be talking in college. I think it's really cool.
No, it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, dude. So that's that. This is something that essentially worked really well for me in my favor when I was able to experience this and kind of like put all of this together. But while all of this was happening, I was meeting a lot of startup founders. I was wondering that, I wouldn't say to them that follow me on, hey, Ritik, founder of Podcasting Studio, would you like to follow me on Instagram? And he'd be like, dude, who the hell are you, dude? I mean, I'm running a company for 5 years. I have 2 failed startups. This is the third startup that is now making money. And you want me to follow you on Instagram? I'm like, that'd be weird. And Facebook, I wasn't doing at that time. And so I just thought that, LinkedIn just seemed the right platform. And that's precisely how I started using LinkedIn. I started connecting with them, the videos that were done. And those are my initial posts on LinkedIn. If someone scrolls down, they're absolutely hilarious. Because I'm like this little kid who's like trying to do something and it's very cute. So dude, like I was interviewing these people and I was like, oh my God, I'm not gonna ask them to like send me a connection request on Instagram. Sorry, follow me on Instagram, dude. Like, I mean, that's just weird, right? These are the entrepreneurs, dude. Like they don't do stuff like that. So I ended up sending them a connection request on LinkedIn, and they were more than happy to connect. And then I ended up posting those video interviews on my LinkedIn profile, like attaching the YouTube link of the company's page of the video there. And that way, like a lot of other people were also able to see that I'm doing some stuff in this. Now, what people don't understand is that I was back in college after my internship, right? And then the content was kind of getting up. People just thought, oh my God, who's this dude who's doing a lot of work, meeting startup founders, interviewing them, right? And that worked very well in my favor. Also, when these people connected with me, my initial audience on LinkedIn was built like a beautiful niche audience of startup founders, right? Like it was such a core entrepreneurial audience, and that really helped me scale up. But your question is that what happened, 7 months ago, 8 months ago, I don't know how long ago, but on 1st June 2022 is when I started with the LinkedIn for Creator Accelerator program. I was already posting one post in a week every Wednesday at 10 a.m. on LinkedIn from the last, I think, 1-2 years. And LinkedIn kind of saw that, and I applied for the LinkedIn for Creator Accelerator program. I thankfully got in, and I mean, life has been very wonderful since then. They educated us, trained us, told about how we should voice our opinions, how we should form our opinions, and also they told us about a lot of tools which can help us use LinkedIn in best way possible. And yeah, that's when I started posting 4 times a week, and now I post almost 3 times a day also on some days, but I post almost every day. And it's just fun. And I, like, for example, I didn't post today, and there is no stress about it anymore. Like earlier, I would stress about these things, and oh my God, I've not done it. What else going on? Now I'm pretty chilled out about it. I talk about what I feel, and I think it's important for every creator to kind of go through this brush journey. I wouldn't give all the credit to LinkedIn. I would give them the credit of bringing 199 more creators from India together, putting them in a room with me, because that changed my life. That changed everything. I'm friends with Mrinal, Binati, Gurnur, Sonia, Nidhi Chauhan, Vikas Dua, Anshuman Trivedi. How many more people, dude? And it's just so Sampark Sachdeva. It's so lovely that I can count these people on my fingers. So there was a time, Ritik, where I couldn't go to anyone and talk to them about content or what I'm learning or what is going on, right? And there came a point where I had like over 200 people that I could just walk to and talk about that, hey, this is going on in my profile. What do you think? And they'd be like, I walked through this journey. I can tell you, I can help you out. And that just changes everything, right? And so that was the change for my content. And for becoming an entrepreneur, it's actually not 7 months ago. I quit my job in December last year. Like I put down my papers. So January 6th, I was out of Planet Spark. And that's precisely when I started building House of Creators with Piyush under Stealth. And then we came out and about in public on 15th of April this year. So it's been like we're barely like 2 months old, technically, if you see. But the entrepreneurial stint, dude, happened like this because I mean, it's House of Creators, right? It's again around how like content creation. So Ritik, I'll tell you this. So I was in Dubai last year, 3rd, 4th, 5th of December. It also happens to be UAE day. So it was like amazing. But I attended the 1 billion follower summit there in Atlantis, the Palm, and oh, dude, that hotel, that's something. And there were 2,000 content creators who were YouTubers, Instagrammers, TikTokers, the dance video people. Nidhi Sharma, a friend, I love her, love her, love her. Tripti, I met Tripti, who's a LinkedIn content creator, founder of Women Innovator in Dubai, and we like, I mean, talk almost every week, and that's like killer crazy, right? So when I saw 2,000 people, and like me, and like, like everybody is just on their own purpose and mission. And I talked to so many of them because a lot of people came to me and they were like, oh my God, what energy, what's this bunny who's walking into the room? And when I walk into the room, people think that something has come. We don't know what, and something has come. And it was like very interesting. So many different conversations. I met Mariam and people from like different parts of the world. And when you realize that, the reality kind of hits you. You feel like, oh, this is not just in my head, it's happening in the real world. And reading something on digital phone, like, and like just being like, oh, this is the news and all and everything, versus being in a situation face to face. Like, I mean, this video call is great, but imagine if we both were sitting across the table. Dude, that'd be different, dude. Like, that'd be sick AF, right? So that precisely is something that moved the entrepreneurial needle for me. I think that was the thing you give to the person who's dying, to give them a shock to kind of bring back, and you're like, oh, dude, I want to do this. There's an opportunity. I have the resources. Let's just go for it. Why wait? And I think those triggers are important for everyone. And again, I'll say it for your audience and for everyone who's listening to us right now. It's very important that you put yourself into different experiences. It's very important. I mean, imagine if adventure sports, I mean, you don't have to go to something like skydiving or bungee jumping all of a sudden. Just do something as simple as paragliding. or even parasailing for that matter. But when you put yourself into a different experience, not only it's very healthy for your body, it also just kind of like triggers that creative side of you, and you get different thoughts than you get on a mundane evening every day. So go do that. Go do something fun, something different, something that you have on your bucket list. Check one thing off a month. Sorry, I'll start preaching so much. Mike, back to you,
No,
Ritik.
no, no, I think that's good. That's a great way to summarize it. Now that you mention entrepreneurship, and that sort of something move the needle. But money is a huge part of being an entrepreneur and becoming a creator, because first you're doing a job, and then suddenly poof, all your money is gone, and now you have to find ways to start earning a lot more money. So I think I also saw a post on your LinkedIn that you were making around what about around the offer that you rejected uh, in about 6 months.
No, I did not reject the offer. So I'll tell you. So, and I'll answer your question. I got your question. You're saying that, like, how do you manage making money now? So,
Yeah.
dude, very, very simple. It's a very simple thing. I mean, so I'm living my life for the very first time. And that's whatever I make do with the information. I like to take risks, but I like to calculate my moves also, right? And I am a very passionate person. I put that energy in everything that I do. So when I was working with Planet Spark, and I don't remember how much they were paying me. Oh, I don't remember. I think 35 annually. I was making 35 from Planet Spark. Then I was working with Super Gaming. They were paying me 18 annually, right? I was consulting for them while I was an employee at Planet Spark, because during COVID, we could diversify. And I think Tegro was paying me, I don't really remember, but I think I would bill them around 50,000 a month. So that will be around 6.5, 6 lakhs in a
Six
year,
years.
right?
Yeah.
Correct. So now if you combine all of this, my math's so bad, 45, 8 plus 6 is 14. That'd be around like 60 lakhs, 50 lakhs.
Yeah.
So I wrote a post on LinkedIn where I said 51 lakhs, because 51 is like a nice number to put, honestly. That was the reason for it. But this is how the money would come in. Also, 51 lakhs was the money that came in my hand, hard cash. Not like there's tax that is to be deducted. Like Super Gaming would give me this
Mm.
money, but every month there'd be a tax that will get deducted. Planet Spark would deduct more tax because I'm an employee in that organization,
Yeah.
versus where I'm a consultant, only 10% flat tax deduction would happen. Dude, it's crazy. So while this was happening, I was already consulting for brands. So I'll tell you what we did. In the month of January, we built the backend of House of Creators, which can provide money for us, so that we can give money to our employees, and that can provide for them. So that was the first thing that we did. So whatever clients that we had, so what's the work that I was doing for Super Gaming, or I am doing for Super Gaming, or for Tegro, right? So I host events for them. So that's not something that we
Mm.
provide at House of Creators, right? We do coach and train, but this is not something like Jatin Saini service can't be there, dude. Like, it's House of Creators. So what we did is, we also work with brands and helping them scale up their journey and become strong employer brands on LinkedIn. We help individuals, entrepreneurs become position themselves as thought leaders on LinkedIn. So we quickly went, spoke to a couple of entrepreneurs who we saw wanted to voice their opinion on LinkedIn, and onboarded them as clients. So ensured that we have a cash flow. Once we did, and that's a totally different entity of thought leadership that's happening, then we thought of kind of like pumping House of Creators and telling creators that, okay, now we've been able to provide for ourselves. Now we've been able to fend for ourselves. Now we are in a position to give you. We are in an abundant place, so we'll give you
Mm.
for free stuff now. We like whatever knowledge we have. We kind of thought that it's like a school. We don't want to call it a school because school's so uncool, dude. We just feel like it's a chill hangout lounge area where friends meet every Friday or Tuesday at 8 p.m. in the cafe, say hello, and there's just like a seminar or workshop, like a fun chill party happening where I come sometimes to say hello, and some of other creators come to say hello, to meet the community. And when they go out from a nice event, they get a goodie bag to take home. So we give a goodie bag, which is a free checklist for creators. And that's precisely how it is. I hope that answers your question, because I think I jumbled up a few things here and there.
No, no, I think
But
that really does. I also saw your, create a checklist for working with brand, and I think that was really helpful. Uh, and that's for free right now, so please grab it uh, to the audience. Yeah. So you mentioned that you like to organize workshops a lot, and I love one series that you particularly work on, the Shark Tank series, and most of the Shark Tank content that you would see online, apart from the original content by Sony, it would be either product reviews or before after, or a podcast, a video podcast, because that just grabs more eye. So why did you go for audio only events, and especially on LinkedIn?
so I mean, my answer, so it's very simple for me, bro. Like, why do I do the Shark Tank entrepreneurs event, right? Like, what is the purpose of it? It's not that I want to do anything with the Shark Tank people. I mean, sure, if we get on, I just love entrepreneurs, yeah. Like when I was interviewing, when like earlier also founders, I just love, and also I'm on an entrepreneurship adventure, right? So I'm just like, I just want to know more stories. I just want to know more about it. So there's a curiosity angle for sure. But that's not why I started, because when I started Shark Tank India series, it wasn't when I had decided I want to become an entrepreneur, honestly. So it was that there are people in my community who reach out to me for help, who would say that, Jatin, how can I create content like this? Or how can I grow on LinkedIn and stuff like that? And I feel that India at this point has potential for entrepreneurship for sure. And I was curious about entrepreneurship at that point. I hadn't decided that this will be the path that I want to pick at the moment in my life. And I thought if I bring these people in and I question them, and if I'm able to share the answers of this candidly with my community, my people will get more confidence in just even, talking about Shark Tank, or even one day going to Shark Tank if they would like to go. Like when you know a little bit about something versus you fear the unknown more than the known, yeah. When you know something, the fear is less. Like, and if let's say there is Pushkraj Deshpande, he's a corporate trainer, he's one of our community members. There's Maheshwari, she's a part of the LinkedIn campus program that is going on, right? And there is Ratika Bharadwaj. She's a teacher at Planet Spark, she's a teacher at school, and she's also coaching and helping people on LinkedIn become a public speaker. These are my community members, dude. Like I remember 110% because they come on my show and we talk. And these people, when they're wanting to try something new, it can't be na Jatin Saini is saying, do entrepreneurship, everybody's doing entrepreneurship. I need to bring legit people to like put in that energy into my community that, if you want to pick that path, then go for it. Don't be hesitant. And if there is anything that you feel that I can help with, I will try to help with. But there's only one thing with me. I'm not going to help you one on one. Whatever question you come to me, and I think that that question is something that can be a problem for a lot of people, I will do something public, and I will make it accessible to all my community members. And I think that's something and that's why my hashtag is Together We Rise, dude. Like, I mean, that's precisely what I believe in. My hashtag before this was hashtag more we less me. That was the time when I was battling my own narcissism and putting myself above everything else. And I think I just translated and evolved into Together We Rise, because that just became the vibe that I felt more around my community and my tribe. So yeah, that's why I started. I just wanted my community to know about the insides of Shark Tank India. And I think Shark Tank India is a great opportunity for India. In India, after the show, there have been so many conversations around entrepreneurship alone, and especially because there
Absolutely.
is no school that's teaching you how to become an entrepreneur, and they're educating you. Like there are terms that will come, and then Aman will turn, or like Anupam will turn, and they will explain that what does this term mean, market size mean, or whatever mean. And I think that's pretty sick. I love that. I really appreciate it, and more power to them for doing this.
But why audio only? LinkedIn also has a live video feature.
Good question. So LinkedIn Live would be something like this would be just so wonderful, right? Like I'm pretty chill on camera. I don't have any issues. And in fact, I'm very like I'm better on camera than I'm on audio for sure. But I would say that when you're on a LinkedIn Live and this is your LinkedIn Live, and then you scroll it down to scroll the LinkedIn feed at that time. When you do that, the issue is the moment you kind of scroll down, that's precisely when LinkedIn Live is going to close. The UI
Hmm.
is not as good. But if you're on a LinkedIn audio event and then you're joining a LinkedIn audio event, you're scrolling it down, you can browse through LinkedIn and still listen to what's happening in the audio event because the user interface is as such. When I found this out, I mean, I was like, there's no going back. And I started encouraging everybody. A huge shout out to Ishwari, who she came on a top mate call, and I gave her all my secrets. And then she built something of her own with her own element, her own topics, her own everything, her own style. And now she's hosting, I think, her fifth audio event in a row in a week. She started
Wow.
by bringing guests, and now she brings one guest. And she texted me this thing saying Monday that, Jatin, I changed the format. And I changed it because now I feel more comfortable having a one-on-one conversation. And stuff like that makes my day, dude. Stuff like that makes my day because right, Together We Rise is precisely that not just Jatin is able to make content. I mean, that's just Jatin's a medium, it's a catalyst. It's the community that has to create something. So when my members achieve something, right? Like Ratika got that job that she was really eyeing for in a government college, and now that she's just very happy. Pushkraj was really depressed when he joined LinkedIn, which was 4 months, 5 months ago. And today you look at him, the man's a changed man. His face radiates energy, dude. Pavni Ahuja left LinkedIn for 3 months, and now that she is back with a bang, and she is sharing from her experiences. Her exams and stuff's done, and she's worked with influencers for the likes of Preksha. And Preksha, who's like a top voice on LinkedIn, but also a top voice in the space of AI. She's been working on AI from the last 6 years. I can go on and on. The list is so huge. And that makes me happy, dude. Like, imagine if I was living in a society and I'll shut up in 30 seconds because, dude, I'm stretching the answer. But the thing is that, if I'm living in a town, in a city, on a lane, I would want to know who's living, in my next house, in the house above me, in the house in front of me. And those would be my friends, my people, my clan. And I think that's precisely what happens online in the digital world. And so long as they rise, I think it's just a win-win. And that's precisely why I create on LinkedIn. And this is exactly what matters to me the most. I think I jumbled the answer again, but I hope
No,
that
no.
somewhat answers. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. So you have been a host for a lot of time, and you have been a community builder for a lot of time. And that's why I think maybe correct me if I'm wrong. It might have been easy to build credibility around your content. And that's what someone also asked from the Fuller community, that there are a lot of people putting out LinkedIn expert on their thing, and they sort of haven't even developed their own personal brand on, don't have the credibility. So what do you think? What do you think about that? What's yeah?
I mean, I would say it was not easy at all,
Hmm.
because it's tough, yeah. Like, first of all, I won't even talk to you about LinkedIn or the platform. I'll talk to you about in general thing. Like, I was talking to you about Coho a while back, right? And I was telling you that how it's difficult for bachelors to get a house in India. And that's why at Hauser, at Coho, we're fighting urban loneliness and, helping build that community and nudge that gap. Now, the same thing happens with people like me. People, those who are outspoken, those who are a little bit fluent, these people are just going to assume they are all hat but no cattle. Yeah, but they are only going to talk and they're not going to do any work. And that's the first thing that you walk into a room with. Of course, everyone is like flattered with your style and vibe or whatever. But at the end of the day, everybody just wants work. And most of my early relationships with people at work started with just this assumption in their head, because people have come back to me and
Hmm.
told me this, that dude, great work, did not see this coming. And I was like, I have a history of great work. Why didn't you see this coming? And they're like, well, because, and they tell this to me over drinks at a party, celebratory drinks there. And I'm just like, another one, another one. And today these conversations have changed because of LinkedIn. It's just like someone will come in and, people were talking about hosting a LinkedIn audio event and they were talking about you. And some creator friend will tell me, and I'm just like, dude, I blush, dude. That's so great, right? I went to SRCC, I went to Miranda House, I went to LSR, and in all these three colleges, top Delhi colleges, I had at least one person who from the audience auditorium came and said, I have attended your show. Right now, probably they'll follow me on LinkedIn and attend my show. But the fact that somebody there, one person has already heard of my show, and I think that's fabulous, right? There've been over 50,000 listeners who have passed through my, I think, almost around 50 audio rooms. Now we'll have half century very soon. So that's the thing, man. That's precisely it. Did I answer it? Do I need to answer more? Throw me an offshoot or let me know.
No, no. So I mean, you did answer the first part of it. Second part of it was, uh, how do you deal with people, or what do you think about people who just put the LinkedIn expert tag and without credibility?
Yeah, so okay, so good point. What I would say is that it takes time when you build credibility. Like, I'll give you an example of somebody that I know recently that I'm working with, and they have mentioned themselves as a finance influencer or finance creator or something like of sorts. And that person's just like he's in 12th standard. Like, he's just closed his 12th standard, I think, recently. So stuff like that. How would you know finance management unless you have put your money in, invested it in
Yeah.
some place from it? Like, for example, I would never call myself a finance expert, but dude, if you want to ask me how much money I've eved up in crypto, especially Ethereum, don't ask me about it. I'ma just shed a tear through, or like maybe like a river will flow out of here. I think it's very important to have some credibility so that you have a platform, you build a platform from where you want to speak, with people on. Make sure you do that. A lot of people do that, and I think it is not going to yield into any outcomes immediately. But I'm also a firm believer of manifestation. I feel that
Hmm.
no one putting anything out there on LinkedIn that I'm an expert, or just not putting empty, right? An empty profile. I think it's better at least a person is saying that, I'm, let's say, a personal branding expert, because at least every day when they are to create that content, or thrice a week, or as much time they create, they're forcing themselves to think like an expert and then share with their community. It's an evolving journey, dude. If we start judging everybody from the lens of where, let's say, for example, if we start judging Jatin Saini from the lens of where Jatin Saini is today, then 2 years ago, Jatin Saini would have never picked up LinkedIn, assuming that, dude, who's going to wear that hat and glasses, roam around, and take a speaker in an office at 4 o'clock and not let anybody work, record a video of it and post it on LinkedIn. That's precisely what I did at Planet Spark. I made sure that, the communities were interacting. And right, like, I mean, I would not have, I came from a very basic definition of the world, and I mean, 2 years ago we would just be locked inside our house. I mean, who knows? I mean, we were still under lockdown and restricted. So it's very important to not judge others, and I think I would say that whoever is trying to pick a niche, please go for it. But I would also say that don't pick something difficult like, finance, where you should be credible when you're sharing something. I mean, for me, I am dealing with my community's time. I suggest them to do something like I was suggesting your community a while back, take a day off and take a day out of a month and do some
Yeah.
activity, which is different, right? So that's a suggestion on your time expenditure. When you're telling someone to spend their money, for a lot of people in their younger years, that for me, that money was very important in bringing me where I am today. So to be able to invest that money or to just spend it in the right experiences, it's very important. So when you misguide or misdirect someone, I feel that's just the energy you don't need in your life more than anything else. Why would you want anybody to be sad with what you're doing, dude? I mean, that's weird, right? Like, so
Yeah.
I think, yeah. So I would say that whatever work they're doing, it's all great. Try to improve every single day. I also try to do the same thing. I think it's a journey and we should love it. And if they think they're a personal branding expert or a, let's say, nutrition expert, so goddamn be it. At the end of the day, it is the power of the people, and the people will decide whether they should trust that information or not. And I trust my community 110%. I posted about Dhairya because I met Dhairya Gangwani in Goa, and Dhara and I, we were together in the LinkedIn for Creator Accelerator program. She keeps coming on my show. I absolutely love her, dude. I love her energy. We worked on a small project in Transpark also together, and we hadn't met. So we met for the first time 10 days ago in Goa. And I posted about Dhara, of course. And dude, she has such energy. She hustles so much, and you know why she does that? Because she faced a tough time during COVID, and the pandemic shift was happening, and she had to move and she had to take care of things, and then she governed and she built this own empire of the hair decodes for herself. And I wrote about this, and I talked about it, that how she was living her life in 15,000 rupees internship money in Mumbai. What can you even do in
Wow.
that? Out of which 10,000 was her house rent, which was a very small room. Like, I mean, if you see this house, it's such a huge space, right? You get like 1/4 of this, and that also is shared with people. And that's not a convenient life. I can't talk to you
Yeah.
like this, and from like it just you just don't feel it. And she slayed it. 5,000 she was spending merely on like traveling to and fro. 15,000 to yahi chala gaya. How was she managing? So I wrote about this, and I remember also, I think Anto, one of my community members, wrote and said, KPMG, she was doing her internship in KPMG, and KPMG pays good money last that I checked. So, I mean, I quickly went down there and I wrote that that was her internship for first 3 months, and she was only paid 15, and that's very tough to manage. But you know what? I love that you asked me this question, because you're my community and you have all the more rights to ask me, yaar, mujhse nahi puchoga, kisse puchoge? And that's precisely what I told him on that comment also, that I appreciate you for it. I wrote more about appreciating him for asking that fact check question than just, defending the area and telling about her story. And I think that's beautiful that the community chooses to. So people will eventually decide. Make sure you go for it. Personal branding, even finance for that matter, just go for it. But just don't pick risk management or stuff where you're suggesting people things that you're not an expert of. If you have genuine interest, go for it.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. So yeah, actually, we might go a little off topic, but now that you mentioned there, there was a course that I won in a giver. It was a course about freelancing, and there was a mentor there. So
Oh,
I
wow.
really loved her way of teaching. So I have a connection with her as well. So yeah, really beautiful story. And again, you mentioned about starting out, and you will build on it, manifest it later. I saw a creator on Instagram. He's a kid. He has a decent voice, and most people might not like it, obviously. Uh, so he covers English songs, and the music that he creates in the background, that's what empowers him. So the music is so brilliant, and you won't even think about what he's saying. When he puts content on Instagram, there's a lot of hate, but a lot of people, a lot of celebrities have pushed him, and he is at 60K right now, and
Wow.
that's amazing.
Dude, I'll tell you even more amazing stuff. So, I mean, you need to send me the link of this kid because I'm able to visualize more when I'm able to see. But so this is a friend of mine, Shivansh. I met Shivansh, I think, in some event, in some panel. He was the host, and I was speaking there. So Shivansh started his Instagram journey, I think 3-4 months from then, from like a new account with like zero followers. And he took it to 150,000 followers in just 4 months by making videos,
Wow.
reels of like not looking into the camera, looking away. And the editor is great, and the content is speaking. It speaks to the kids, and he functions in college audience. Like his company is, I think, Youth Engine or Young Engine or something like that. So they work with the kids. So it's very nice niche down content, and it's just kind of boomed on Instagram. And he's my friend, so people keep talking to me that oh, you should come to Instagram. You're like a typical Instagram boy. You should come to Instagram. We'll help you scale on Instagram, Jatin. You tell us LinkedIn, and I'm like, I'll help you on LinkedIn anyway. I will come on Instagram whenever I'm ready. But yeah, dude. So it's very cool to see that how a lot of creators are emerging, and the creator economy in general in itself is absolutely at an ad par. India has had a 118% growth rate of the creator space in general, and that's very, very exciting because in the world it may not be the same case considering the recession spikes that are just out there already.
So also, now that you mentioned the creator economy growing at a 118% rate, and I think it's a 5 billion economy, if I'm not wrong. So there's a lot of competition. So apart from just giving out immense value, that really helps. What sort of metrics would you say are the most important as a creator?
Um, it's for me, dude. I'm like a basic bitch, dude. Like I'm like a simple person. So I'll tell you, it's just that two things. One is what do you feel about it? That's the most important thing. What do people feel about it? That's something that will always, there's always audience for everything. Please find something that you love to do. You will build a community around it. Stick to what you want to do. That's very healthy, and that's
Mhm.
absolutely important in the journey. Authenticity, sorry, I could have just said authenticity. So I mean big words, but like simple thing is just keep asking yourself that what do I think about this? Do I really feel good about it? Do I connect with this brand, or am I just, getting them on for the money or stuff like that? I mean, I think that's very important. Number two is to remember that when you choose to become a creator, that's when you've taken up the job. There's nothing too special, different about it. Ritik, I'll tell you this. I mean, and I mean, I just need to stop saying this because I say this so much. But when I had like, I don't remember, 500 followers or connections or whatever they call it on LinkedIn, right? I was creating content. Today, when I have like whatever growth of like, I don't know how many X growth of my community size, I would see that I am still creating content. My frequency has increased, right? Earlier, I was creating one
Mhm.
post in a week. Now I'm creating one post daily almost, right? So there's a frequency change for sure, but the job is the same. So I
Mhm.
think understanding that and knowing that is very important that, oh, this is the job and I'm already doing it. The moment you let go of the stress, of course, I was very stressed, honestly. I was like, oh my God, will I get reactions? Will I get impressions? Oh my God, will I get followers? Oh my God, will people like my content? Oh my God, people don't find me relatable. Oh my God, my opinions are so different. And I think all of that comes to you in the journey. So you should absolutely relax, not worry about it. Talk to your friends about it. I talk to my friends all the time about it. I'm like, I think this about this content. Sometimes I'm just roaming in the house like, oh, I really like this post. If this is not working, so be it. I love it. Like I think eventually you reach to that point where you just grow out of all of these numbers. And what matters is that what people feel in general, and numbers don't really matter. So two things only I'll leave you with. One is keep checking with yourself. What do I think about this? Do I really want to do it? And number two is ensure that the job is to create. So keep creating. Don't worry about anything else, impressions, numbers, algorithms. All of that's like BS. So long as you can connect with the people, that's all that you need to do. And that's my cue. I think we have 5 more minutes.
All right, yeah. So that really brings us to the end of the show. One last question that I would want to leave the audience with is, what would you recommend to those just starting out, building their own sort of creator journey? And what would you recommend them to stop their main thing and go for all in the creator journey? Yeah,
Mm,
that.
Not at all. I can't even do that, dude. I can't suggest that because I have not walked that path. I very strategically was creating content on the side, built my personal brand. Once I was able to pick clients from my personal brand on LinkedIn, that's when I chose to pick a couple of clients. Then I quit my job. So I was moonlighting, I was side hustling, and then I built it. And that way I was very comfortable and convenient. If I'm wearing a Balenciaga, I can afford a Balenciaga because I did not quit my job and just, okay, now entrepreneurship. So all the money I've saved, I'll put there and whatever, right? So I'm not. This is not to boast. This is a personal thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, I would wear a watch which is for $1,500 also. Like why? Because I use the Apple Watch and I realized that, dude. I mean, the purpose of the watch is just that, and I would just like to have more designs, right? Some drops are coming with alt very soon on LinkedIn. But I would also like to, let's say, have a Gucci bag. It just feels good to have it. It's something that's been conditioned in my mind. I would love to get Christian Louis Vuitton shoes, and that's something that's expensive. And in order to take care of that high expenditure lifestyle, I can't really quit my job. I wouldn't suggest anybody to kind
Mhm.
of reduce down to what they're living. I would definitely want them to level it up. And for that, I would suggest side hustle, dude. Test it out. पहले proof of concept होता है. You try out something and then you realize if it's working or not. The day you get your first brand deal from LinkedIn, the day you get your, and these are 5 boxes, okay? So, okay, chalo 3 boxes for you because your community, so it will be nice to them. 3 boxes. Number one, the day you're able to get the first brand deal from LinkedIn. Okay. Number two, the day you're able to create and sell your first course. It doesn't need to be a video course, can be like a PDF also. And number three is the day you're able to, let's say, get a creator job for another brand, not a post on your profile, right? So the first one is you talk about a brand on your profile. That's first checkbox, which you get money
Yeah.
for. Number two is when you're selling a course, which you make money in. And number three is when you're doing some sort of a project like Naukri through Sonia reached out to Gurnur to create Naukri reels on Instagram. So
Mhm.
if you get that project, these 3 checkboxes, when you check, you're ready to take content creation on a full-time thing. So long as you're not making money from it, do not be stupid, do not make a mistake. Take care of your expenses and basic needs first. If you don't have a shelter on your head, if you don't have like food to eat, then no matter how cool the AC can really throw out the air, if you're hungry, you're hungry. If you don't have a shelter on your head, you don't have a shelter on your head. So take care of your basic things before you get into stuff like this. Be smart about things. And I mean, you're an Indian, so you are going to be smart. I mean, the world has proof of it. So I'm sure you're going to take a good call.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jatin. It's been really great connecting with you, and I'm sure the audience will find a lot of value. I will be dropping your link in the comments. I'm sure a lot of people will reach out. So, be ready to get over well.
I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited. And thank you so much for having me, dude. It's lovely and all the more power to you. And please keep in touch.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.